The Baltimore Ravens are finally at 500. 5-5 is the record. They've won 4 straight ball games. This one today against the Cleveland Browns by a score of 23-16. There is a ton to get in today's video. I got 5 of my instant takeaways, but I just want to start off by saying a win is a win. And I think we got to be fired up. I get it. It's the Browns. The Browns are a 2-win squad. You had to get a late stop to beat them. Frankly, I don't care. Like the video if you're pumped up with me. Like the video if you're happy this team is victorious for the 4th straight game. Number 1. It's kind of where we're going to start off in this one. I am not going to apologize ever for a win in the National Football League. Frankly, especially when you start the season off 1-5. And we are trying to stand on our high horses and say, oh, it was just Cleveland, and you barely beat them. Guys, you started off this year 1-5 in your first 6 games, and you're going to somewhat complain about a win. I'm not here to do that. I don't care if it's against the Browns, the Jets. I don't care if it's against Marshall. I don't care if it's where I went to high school that they just beat. You won the football game in the National Football League against paid professionals, against the best defensive player on the planet. I'm not going to be mad about that. You're 500 now. You started 1-5. You're 5-5. This is all you asked for after starting that way. So I'm not going to be upset. I'm not going to complain. Now, was it perfect? No. You're going to hear me talk a little bit more about that on the rest of today's show. But am I going to be upset by it? Or am I going to let it drag down my mood at all? Not one bit. And the big reason for that is because of the defense. Defense. Man, Roquan Smith, what a game he's played. Man, back-to-back games from Roquan Smith have been phenomenal. Kyle Hamilton, Chidobe Awuzie, like guys making plays all over the place. Nate Wiggins with that pick. You just won a game, ladies and gentlemen, because of your defense. That's another reason that I'm not upset with this game at all. Think if we would have told you that after that game against the Texans, after the Houston Texans put 44 on you, if we would have told you in week 5 that this team was capable of winning a game on the back of their defense, would you have believed me? And I get it. It was against Dylan Gabriel and Shedeur Sanders. Who cares? That's who you had to play against. You can only play who the other team has. Okay? And you stopped them all game long. You gave up 16, but 7 of that was a pick six, and 3 of that was from a muffed punt that they recovered on the 5-yard line. You didn't allow a single point in the entire second half, and you made plays all game long. Look, the offense wasn't great. We're going to speak a little bit more on that in just a little bit, but I've got faith in the offense to figure it out with Lamar Jackson, with Derrick Henry, with Todd Monken, with Zay Flowers. I've got faith in those guys to figure it out. What I didn't have faith in was the Ravens' defense through the first 5 weeks of the season, and now through your last 4 wins, they've yet to give up over 17 points in a single game. They're taking the ball away. They're coming up with big plays, coming up with big stops, and I could not be more excited about it. Grade the Ravens' performance against the Browns. A, B, C, D, or F. You let me know in the comment section down below. Weigh in and give me your answer. Number 3, goal line offense needs some work. Okay, now we're going to bring it a little bit down and start thinking and speaking critically on this football team. It's not good enough, frankly. You cannot keep pissing down your leg every time you got it inside the 5-yard line. The Ravens in the red zone went like field goal, interception, touchdown, field goal. Come on, man. This is a Todd Monken issue. This is an offensive line issue. Frankly, tonight it was a little bit of a Lamar Jackson issue as well. I think that's what they need to focus their entire energy on throughout this next week. Honestly, throughout the rest of this season. Because that has to improve. You've got to make that better. Okay? And if you can't, man, I'm going to have trouble trusting this offense for the rest of this season. But just imagine how much better this team would be this year if they were able to just put it in the end zone every time they got within the 10-yard line. For some reason, that's like the easiest thing to do in football, and they can't seem to do it. Something I need you guys to do for me is download the PrizePicks app, use our code CLNS. You get $50 in lineups. All you got to do is play your first $5 lineup. This episode is brought to you by PrizePicks. The hard-hitting football action is even better with PrizePicks. The weather might be changing, but the feeling of being right never gets old. So keep the season rolling on PrizePicks by getting $50 instantly in lineups when you play your first $5. PrizePicks is the only app that offers stacks, meaning you can pick the same player up to 3 times in the same lineup. Want to pick more on Lamar Jackson's pass yards, rush yards, and touchdowns? Now you can pick all of them in the same lineup only on PrizePicks. On PrizePicks, how you play is up to you. If you want flexibility, choose FlexPlay, where you can get paid even if one of your picks misses. And if you want the biggest payouts, go for the power play. No matter your play, PrizePicks is a great way to put your takes to the test. Speaking a little bit more on that flex play, I think today's a great example for it. I had the Derrick Henry, more than 3.5 yards on his first rush. That one, good. I had the Andre Schmidt, more than 1.5 field goals made. I believe he ended up making 3. That one, good. However, I had Keaton Mitchell, more than half a rushing or receiving touchdown. He did not find the end zone, but if you would have flex played that, even if that pick missed, you still win money. So download the PrizePicks app today. Use code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. This link is in the comment section and the description of today's video for that promo. PrizePicks, it's good to be right. Number 4, look, you started this season off 1-5. You cannot be making as many small mistakes as this team just made in that ballgame. You won that game solely because of your defense and because you almost lost it because your special teams and your offense just kept making mistakes. You cannot muff a punt inside the 10-yard line. You cannot jump off sides on a punt. You cannot drop the ball, Keaton Mitchell, and have it go into a Cleveland Browns defender's hand. Lamar Jackson, you cannot throw the ball into the back of Roger Rosengarten's helmet and have that result in an interception as well, just after Nate Wiggins picked off Shedeur Sanders. You have no room for error. That's the point I'm making here, okay? You started the season off 1-5. You've lost pretty much all the ball games you can. Sure, you might have room for 1, maybe 2 more. You don't have room for 1 or 2 more against the Browns. You started this season off poorly. You cannot make small mistakes. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. That has got to stop in a big, big way. Okay? Cut that out. Especially against bad teams like Cleveland. And then number 5. Speaking of 5s, you are back to 500. Okay? You're back to 500. After that loss against the Rams, you're going into the bye week. Lamar Jackson still dealing with that hamstring injury. You had people hurt. Half the team seemed like they were on the injury report. You lost 4 straight ball games. It seems like this year was over. And what do? You respond. You get a big win out of the bye with Snoop Huntley. You get a big win on Thursday Night Football. You get a big win last Sunday on the road against the Minnesota Vikings. You get a big win on the road against the Cleveland Browns. Guess what? You still got 7 football games left for this football team. But you should be feeling good. Okay? So keep on stacking wins. Keep on playing good football. You're back to 500. But 500, first off, is impossible with 17 football games. And that's not the goal. And that's not what's going to get you into the playoffs. Okay? What's going to get you into the playoffs is continue to play the brand of football you've been playing, and you're going to make it in there. Okay? But be happy with where you are based on how you started. 23-16. What a game, man. It's weird. I was never really nervous. And I know that sounds crazy. But I just had the utmost faith in this defense. I knew the Browns weren't going to score another point. I just needed the Ravens offense to get me in the end zone a couple of times. and they did it. And shout out to Tyler Luke also for being surgical by kicking the football. All right, what's the percent chance Baltimore makes the playoffs? Let me know in the comment section down below. Scale that 1 to 100 for me. And let me know your thoughts. Appreciate you guys for hanging out with us today. My name is Joey Petersen. You've been watching the Baltimore Ravens Rundown. We'll have another video out early tomorrow morning. It's Monday, so we're going to have 2 videos out for you tomorrow. Anyway, we got you covered. The best anybody else can be right here on the Ravens Rundown, so subscribe.